Hello and welcome to the HO Scale Burlington Northern Yellowstone Division. This layout represents the late 1970s in the Bismarck-Mandan, North Dakota area, as well as the 5th subdivision branch to Killdeer. This layout has been in place for about 7 years, with some of the layout sections and structures being from previous layouts. The layout is double-deck, and a helix connects the upper-level branch line to the lower-level Bismarck-Mandan area. This video is meant to be an overall tour of the layout. Future videos will focus on the operational jobs on the layout, as well as the JMRI Operations Pro car routing system. On the lower level is the staging yard. This 12-track yard represents 3 locations. The 5 tracks closest to the wall simulate Billings, Montana, and points west and southwest. The 2 tracks in the front are the Sioux Line at Drake, North Dakota, with connections to Western Canada and the rest of the Sioux Line system. The 5 tracks in between that curve off and represent Northtown, Minnesota and Superior, Wisconsin for points east and south. The modeled portion of the layout begins here at the BN Sioux Crossing at the east end of Bismarck. The BN is coming from Dilworth, Minnesota and Jamestown, North Dakota. The 2 Sioux Line branches go to Drake on the far left and Hankinson on the far right. The track on the right is not used during operations and is for a lower-level continuous run opportunity. As we move west through Bismarck, the BN and Sioux Line have a small interchange yard, and the BN serves Billington scrap. The tracks then cross Airport Road and pass several other industries as they straddle the main line. They include Sweetheart Bakery, Ash Grove Cement, a loading dock, and eventually the PV elevator. As the main line heads towards Mandan, it crosses the lift-out section and curves in behind the helix. The tracks reappear here at the east end of Mandan Yard. The track closest to the wall is the 5th subdivision up the helix to Killdeer. The Bismarck main is in the center, and the near track is the 4th sub-branch to Mott. This branch is modeled with a staging track inside the helix. Also at the east end of Mandan Yard is Welk Steel Fabricators, a RIP track, and a company stores track. The yard itself is made up of 2 sections. The first 4 tracks on the right-hand side are double-ended and are used primarily for mainline trains to set out and pick up cars. The 3 tracks closest to the aisle feed the branch lines, as well as the local switching that needs to be done. Behind Mandan Yard is the Mandan Farmers Elevator. Towards the west end of the yard is the piggyback facility, as well as the roundhouse, caboose track, and fueling areas. 2 tracks go through the backdrop. The one on the right is the main line to Glendive and Billings, Montana. The near track forms the other half of the lower-level continuous loop with the Sioux Line and is not part of operations. On the Sioux Line, the Drake main line comes in from behind the Red Owl warehouse and meets the Hankinson branch line behind Builder's Supply. The Sioux Line then proceeds into downtown Bismarck, passing Enco Propane and the roundhouse and turntable. A small Sioux Line yard is towards the center of Bismarck, with several local industries and a small yard. The Sioux Line serves another PV elevator, Quality Builders, McQuaid's Distributing, Klein Lumber, and Coca-Cola Bottling. The yard and industry tracks stub at 9th Street, with a runaround extending behind Pizza Hut and the Red Owl grocery store. There's also a loading dock behind Red Owl for machinery and TOFC delivery. The 5th sub leaves Mandan Yard and travels up the helix to the 2nd level. At the top of the helix is the United Power Authority Stanton Station. This is one of the first lignite facilities in North Dakota and was decommissioned and imploded in 2019. The plant receives a coal shuttle from the Indian Head Mine at Republic twice every operating session. The loop at Stanton Station is one half of a double dog bone continuous run on the upper level. The branch then goes through the small community of Stanton and serves the elevator there. Proceeding west from Stanton, the branch ducks under Highway 200, then crosses the Knife River, crosses Highway 200 again at grade, before rounding the curve and entering Beulah. Beulah is the midpoint of the 5th subdivision. and includes a small yard on the east end of town. A turn from Mandan comes to Beulah 6 days per week, switching along the way, as well as the local industries in town. A grain elevator, bulk fuel distributor, and a loading dock. Locomotives are stationed at Beulah for the 6 days per week run to Killdeer and the UPA coal shuttle. At the west end of Beulah is the junction switch to the South Beulah mine, and the mine itself is around the end of the upper level peninsula. The Knife River Coal Company loads unit trains for Otter Tail Power Company at Fergus Falls, Minnesota. The 5th sub continues west and enters Republic Siding, site of the North American Coal Company's Indian Head Mine. The mine loads 2 shuttles per day that are sent to the UPA Stanton Station. The track through the backdrop simulates the spur to the Dakota Gasification Company, still under construction, and is not used for operation. It forms the other half of the Double Dog Bone continuous run on the upper level and comes out behind the farm east of Beulah. West of Republic Siding, the tracks cross Spring Creek and enter Zapp, North Dakota to serve the elevator there. The tracks cross Spring Creek again and go through a cut before entering the end of the line town at Killdeer. Two grain elevators sit on either side of Killdeer, and a loading dock and an abandoned stockyard round out the industries on the 5th subdivision. Thank you for coming on our tour today. Please stay tuned for more videos covering the prototypical operation of the layout, and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Yellowstone Division, and also like this YouTube channel.